Yo, what's up, guys? I'm reviewing the Odyssey today, and this is the first review on my channel where I've sh where I've showed my face. I figured maybe I might start doing reviews like that where I actually show my face instead of it just being like images or whatever. But yeah, I saw this movie and I thought it was great. Now I went in, I didn't really read the original like Homer poem or anything. I just knew Epic the Musical. Epic the Musical is what got me into it because I saw that and I saw no one was coming out with this movie. Like, oh, this looks interesting. I looked at Epic the Musical and loved it. Uh, and I saw the miniseries from the 90s. Both of those I really enjoy, more so Epic the Musical. But yeah, I saw this movie. It was made by Christopher Nolan. Of course, his previous movies, Oppenheimer. Got the same composer from that movie to do this movie, Ludwig, and his score is so good. I think Nolan like wanted him to like make the score sound like something you would hear in that time, so it got like much older instruments for it. And the score felt very fitting for the movie. Um, Now I know there were controversies with the movie, which I won't get too much into, with just some casting choices. I thought they were great. Helen of Troy or whatnot, and Elliot Page's character. I thought they were really good. So I don't have an issue with that, like other people did. But yeah. But yeah, Matt Damon and a bunch of actors are in this movie you recognize. Tom Holland as Odysseus' son. Odysseus being like the leader of these people who go try to go on a journey back home. I don't know if I'll get super into spoilers, but and I might be a little bit all over the place. I don't have notes. It's just kind of gathering my thoughts. It's been several days since I've seen it too, so uh, this movie is kind of like done a little bit out of order because like you got Odysseus like on the island with Calypso, and he's like trying to remember things from the past, which was interesting to see, and I think that might be more like the poem from my understanding. When in Epic the Musical in the main series, it was done in order from what I remember, whereas this is done a bit out of order, which was interesting, but I didn't mind that. I thought the way they did was good. Um, Also, the character Agamemnon, I didn't know too much about him because he was in either of those versions, and that dude had aura. Even though he does a certain thing, we found out certain thing early on about him. I mean, but I mean, his armor looks so cool. Part of me wishes he was in the movie more. Um, like helped with going to Troy fighting. But yeah, that whole Troy sequence, I guess I'll get into that since I'm talking about. That shit was great, where they get into Troy with the horse, uh, and then they get outside of the horse and let Agamemnon soldiers in. That was done in a way that felt so intense with Ludwig's score. I love that. That was such a good sequence. And before that, we actually get the Cyclops sequence. Um, which actually takes place after that, I guess, but they show it before. That felt like something out of a horror movie, and like known as someone who likes to do as much practical as he can, and just the look of him was so cool. Um, he didn't talk as much as I thought he would, and I thought they were gonna do a part that involved a nobody line, and they didn't do that, but it's fine. Um, well, that and there's a sequence involving pigs that felt like something out of a horror movie, and I want no one to do like a horror movie now. Like that would be great. Um, there's a scene with another creature. I'll say the name Scylla. I was really looking forward to what no one was going to do with that because I knew Scylla was in the movie, and like they're only in it for what felt like 5 seconds, but it's still a good scene. But why did I just accidentally do the 6-7? My bad. uh, Also, another thing, now that I'm thinking about it, or looking at, they had this. It was like a popcorn tin of like Agamemnon or the main poster, and I love the main poster. with Agamemnon, and like he's in Hades, and it's like it's embossed. His like back spine piece is embossed, and they had this cup which was like really cool, and they had a poster. Let me actually get it real quick. Okay. Don't mind the clothes in the background. Anyway, they were handing out free posters. I'm like, what the hell? Free, really cool free posters of the movie of the there's like a group of giants they come across. I guess I could talk about the scene. This was a really cool scene, maybe one of my favorite scenes in the movie. There's this scene where they go to this island, there's giants and like, hey, we need food. They come across this kid and it's like, go scream for its parents or whatever, and then they start attacking and like they're like huge. I'm like, how did no one film this? That's the thing with this movie. I'm like, how did no one film a lot of this stuff? I just kind of sat there like, bro, how? Just the way it was done looks so good. And seeing an IMAX, I don't have an IMAX 70 millimeter showing. I didn't see it like that, but seeing an IMAX, I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Uh, and that was another scene, like the Troy scene, that you really felt how intense it felt with Ludwig's score and the way they like came out and attacked. And there are certain things that are moving you don't expect to be moving. And it's like, whoa, what the hell? Well, I mean, I guess if you're not don't know too much about the original story, but they weren't. I didn't know too much about them because they weren't in Epic or the miniseries. So there are things that I recognize because I saw Epic the musical and the miniseries from the '90s, but there are things where it's like I'm not too familiar with this. Now I think a lot of people, it was required reading for them uh, to read the Odyssey in school, but I didn't do that. Now in a film history class, we watched Troy, but I don't remember too much that happened in there outside of like the scene with the bit with the horse. But so I might have to watch that again. Maybe read the Iliad even, which is the original story. But yeah. But anyway, back to this poster. Yeah, they're handing out these posters. And I guess they had these at like 70 millimeter showings, which is like really cool. But we didn't have 70 mil. I can't word things. 70 millimeter, just regular IMAX, and they had a bunch of them still left. And I saw it several days after it like came out, so it's like, yeah, I'm snagging that free poster. Hell yeah, I gotta get a frame for this. Hold on, let me put this back. I know I could like edit this, but I'm like, I'm just freeballing it. Sorry, give me a sec. Okay, but yeah, everyone also did great in the movie. Also, the final act where Odysseus really gets a chance to kick some ass, because I mean, kind of kicks ass at the beginning, and but then for most of the movie, he's kind of like feeling powerless in a sense, and then you just get to see him really kick ass at the end. That was great. Uh, Also the scene where they're in Hades, just the atmosphere and the look of Hades, I loved so much. Now, there's a certain character that Odysseus related to that he saw in Hades, but they didn't do that. It's just him seeing two other characters that are important to him in a sense. Uh, and that was awesome. I'm sorry, I'm not the best at like wording things. I'm not going off of notes or anything, but yeah, I oh yeah. So for issues, I wish they included the nobody line. That's another thing. There's a thing about the Giants that is a known fact about them that I didn't know was a known fact about them in the original story. That I'm like, wait, if this is a known fact about what the Giants are in the original story, why wasn't it included in the movie? Anyway, I know obviously in the movie they say things, they're speaking pretty much modern English, which didn't bother me that much. Or like them saying daddy instead of like father or whatever. I got used to that, but like I don't know, they would say fuck or whatever, or they would cuss. And out of everything of the way they talk, that's the thing that really took me out. I'm like, whoa, okay. This takes me out a little bit. I remember having, I think, other issues, but I'm trying to remember what they were. Those are, or at least those are the ones I remember right now, is like just stuff like that. But yeah, there's not like a ton I dislike about it, but is it a perfect adaptation? No, it is not. I would still say Epic the Musical, of the versions I've seen, Epic the Musical is probably still my favorite, just the way it's portrayed. Um, and that's getting a movie too, I think, which I'm looking forward to that. I'm curious how the movie will look for that compared to like Gigi's drawings of Epic the Musical. Anyway, but yeah, how am I? I'm trying to think if I should say like more, if that's enough. Um, but yeah, also movie. Definitely check it out on IMAX. Also, the scenes where they're on the ocean, they shot on an actual ocean. That shit was fucking beautiful. Um, yeah, definitely check out the movie if you haven't seen it. It's definitely worth it. If you like stories like the Odyssey, like Greek mythology, then you'll probably like it. Or just if you're a fan of that story at all in general, then you'll probably like it. But yeah, that's my review of the Odyssey. See y'all.